Are you consistently getting lost in lines of code, feeling like you're trying to decipher an alien language? Well, ChatGPT just dropped an absolute game-changing tool known as Code Interpreter. Code Interpreter allows you to be able to upload files, code files, images, anything you really want, and it'll create Python code for you to be able to find analytics or add and enhance that application. So let's go ahead and dive into the new GPT-4 Code Interpreter. All right, now to use the Code Interpreter, you need to have GPT-4, and right here you can see that we're currently on 3.5. Let's change this to GPT-4. And once you're on GPT-4, we can select the Code Interpreter Beta. Now, when you select the Code Interpreter Beta for GPT-4, you will get this new plus sign where we can upload a file. Now, the very first thing I'm going to do is upload a file based on American companies in the United States. So for example, this is old data where we can just see the top companies based in the industry, the revenue growth, the employees, and the headquarters. So I'm gonna go ahead and just drop the CSV file into GPT-4. And now I'm just gonna ask it questions about this data. So to start, I'm gonna say, explain this data to me. And when you do this, it's going to think just like you're doing anything else with GPT-4. We can see that it says working with a little code sign. And if we open this up, we can see the code that GPT-4 wrote to be able to analyze the data based on the question that we asked. So it'll say import pandas as PD and then load our CSV file and check out the examples inside. So here we can see what the result is, and it'll explain it to us in an easy way where we don't even need to read the code. So it's gonna say that the columns in this data set is rank, name, industry, revenue growth, employees and headquarters, and it's gonna give us a quick overview of what the top information is for the CSV file. Now you can ask Code Interpreter many different questions and it'll create graphs and other useful information for you. For example, I can say, show me a bar graph displaying the number of employees from the top 10 companies. If we press enter, it's going to digest that file, write some code based on the question that we asked, and then give us the result so that we can easily read and understand what's going on. And just like that, it creates a graph for us, the number of employees for the top 10 companies, and it's going to have the number of employees at the bottom with the top 10 companies here, and it's going to create a bar graph based on the question that we asked. So it's going to say the bar graph displays the number of employees for the top 10 companies in the USA by revenue, and then it's going to tell us that just Walmart is the biggest. Now, here's an interesting question you can ask it. You can tell it to list the top 5 key points from this data. So you're giving it a more of a vague question and you're making it try and find the solution. Well, it's going to tell us right here that Walmart is the largest company by revenue. Amazon has the second highest revenue, but the highest revenue growth. Walmart has the highest number of employees. Significant presence of the technology and healthcare industries. So we can see that in the USA, technology and healthcare is the industries that are doing well. And the headquarters are largely based on the coasts, especially the West Coast. Another cool question you can ask is, what are the trends shown in this data? And a trend is a way of seeing how the data is flowing, and it's going to be like what you can expect for the next year. And you can see that there's going to be dominance of retail and technology sectors. Tech companies generate high revenue with few employees, high revenue growth in tech companies, healthcare sector's substantial presence, geographical concentration of company headquarters. You can see all this data and it's just going to find this information for you. And this is so extremely powerful and mind-blowing that it's hard to even comprehend that you can just ask a question and it's going to write code and find the statistical data for you. Now, another thing you can do is ask it to edit images. So here I have an image of myself doing this. And I'm gonna say, can you recreate this image to be black and white? So it's currently not black and white, and we can just say, make the image in black and white. So I just submitted my image, and it's going to recreate this in black and white. And this is editing skill that we have to use software or pay someone to do this for you. So it says, I've converted the image to the grayscale, black and white. So it even gives you a link where you can download the image of whatever you just asked it to do. So I imported this image, which was in color, and it changed it to black and white for me. All right, and now for the very last one, I saved the best for last. We can upload a Python file. So I'm uploading a application.py file, And this application py file was from a previous video on GPT Engineer, which is a way to be able to create applications by a single prompt. I will link that above, but I'm trying to figure out if ChatGPT, the code interpreter, knows what I use to be able to create this application. So I'm simply going to ask it, what does this code do and how would I run this application? Well, once I click it, it's going to start thinking, and it says, let's first read the contents of your application.py file. So it's writing code to understand and be able to read the application.py file. So if we open this up, we can see that it wrote Python code to be able to open this and then read and then do something from the read. So it says this Python script uses the Fast API framework to create a simple web application that can generate random usernames. Here's a breakdown of the script. It imports necessary models, which is Fast API for creating the web application, typing the specific data types, and randomizing the generated random choices for string operations. It creates a new Fast API application. It's literally going through the code right now. Defines two classes, which is the generate username and generate the user names. It defines two API endpoints using the Fast API at app.get decorator. And it's even telling us what we need to be able to run this application. So it's saying to run this application or to run this script, we need to be able to install Fast API and Uvicorn. And then we need to run the Uvicorn script by doing a Uvicorn application app -- reload, which is exactly what we need. And that says it's going to start your application and send it over to your localhost port 8000. Now, this is incredible that it can just understand what the file is that you're importing and knows exactly what you need to download on your computer to be able to do it. These are all insane processes of Code Interpreter and how it can literally change the world going forward. And the fact that Code Interpreter comes with GPT-4, which has a small monthly subscription, but if you paid that monthly subscription, it can recreate code for you. It can be your code editor. It creates the Python code, tests it itself before validating and reading any kind of data. It can do statistical and data analysis of data and CSV files that you upload, and it really doesn't matter how big the file is because it can just read it. I've heard examples of individuals being able to export entire databases, putting that into an CSV file and uploading that so they can see statistical data of their company. And this is just an incredible tool, and I'm so excited to see how artificial intelligence is going to be moving forward, especially generative AI. And I'll wrap this video up here. Please like and comment, and I'll see you in the next video.